this is Sunniva.
And this is Johannes.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we're doing a thought experiment. It's called If We Could Only Own 10 Games. As you might know, we own many more games than 10.
Yes.
The number is not 10, the number is close to 650. And this is basically nothing we will ever do, but it's like, what would happen if we had to choose only 10 games that we could own? And this has been a super simple list to make, don't you think?
No, it's so hard. Like of all the games, like top list that we could make, this is the hardest, obviously. And I realize now how happy I am that this isn't a real dilemma in my life.
No, but because you were more like, what if we do like, if you could only own 400 games?
Yes.
That would be a simple
That
list
would
to
be
make.
nice.
And also a very long and boring list, which
Yeah.
would basically be Keep or Go.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk to the top 10, the top 10 games that we only if we could own. There's not top 10. If we could only own 10 games.
Yeah, because I have not ranked
no.
mine, and that
It's
seems
not like
an
own it
even
the
more
most.
impossible task to
And how would it be like?
manage.
I'm going to own this the most, and I'm going to
Yeah.
own this a little bit less.
Like, what would you grab in a fire? I would
Yes.
grab this first.
Yeah, I have kind of made my list to try to be like a collection in 10 games.
Yeah.
So kind of like trying it to be some shorter games, some longer games, and some games for many players, some games for fewer players, and kind of like a mix. It's impossible to make like a perfect mix, and you have to choose games that you actually like to play and that you like to play and hopefully like to play after you played it 10, 20, 50 times. It's kind of like a weird thing because I have thought of it in the way that these are the 10 games I can play. Not
okay.
just own, because
Yeah.
then I could just go and play other people's games, or I could
Yes.
play your games, or I could play, but that would make the thought experience a bit less interesting for me. How have you made your list?
I've tried to do that, but I'm not sure if I have succeeded in that.
But you know, if you're gonna be like not happy with your list, it's gonna be the same when I did Age of Steam on the low complexity high depth. So you have
true.
that one.
Yes.
So however bad you feel your list is, you don't have Age of Steam on your low complexity high depth
That's
list.
at least something.
So you win in that regard anyway. So do you want to begin? We don't need to say like number 10 and anything like that because they're not numbered. So are you ready to talk about 20 or 10? I'm interested to see how many crossovers we're going to have.
Yes, I know we have some, but I'm
How
very...
do you know that? We don't know each other's list, just so
No.
you know.
Yes.
So you just telepathically
I'm
know.
telepathizing.
Telepathizing.
That is
No.
not a word.
I don't know.
I'm not. I'm very sure that the first one in my list is not a crossover. Well, maybe, but that would be surprising. It's the only two-player only game on this list because I thought like I should have a two-player game. But like it's not necessary because there are games for more people that are great with two players.
Absolutely.
But
We made lists for that.
yes, we did. But like this is one of the abstract games that I feel like it is a lot of variability to it, and that is That Time You Killed Me.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
That is a new game from 2 years ago that I
Yeah.
really fell in love with.
It's
and
amazing.
the reason that it is on this list is because I wanted something that I could keep exploring for a long time forward.
That's super cool. I'm going to give you like a test.
Okay.
Because I've not ranked my list,
Yeah.
but I made it in a specific order.
Okay, I'm
like
not.
but I have a rule to my order.
Oh.
And I want to see if you
Okay,
can guess
if I
it
can guess it.
after the fact.
Okay.
So that's like an extra little game here. My
Wow,
first
this
one
became fun.
is a big heavy one that I like mostly for 2 players, but also like obviously if we could only have these 10 games, I would play with more players as well. And that is A Feast for Odin.
Yeah.
Fantastic big game. It's one of those games. I've already played it more than 10 times, and I know that I will enjoy it playing it 10, 20, 30, 40 more times. I know you don't like it as much as me, but it's one that I don't think, like, if we could only own these 10 games, I don't think you would be sad to have to play it 10, 20
not
times.
at all.
Because it is a fantastic game.
really great.
And we have talked, like, this is not going to be an in-depth look of all of these games, but it's a worker placement game with loads of negative points in the beginning by Uwe Rosenberg.
Yeah, this was very up in the works because of like how well it plays with both 2 and a lot of other players and all of the different strategies.
Yeah.
You can
I need
go
to say
for.
one thing.
Yeah, go.
I have kind of made it so that the games I've chosen are gonna be with all the expansions made for the game.
Oh, yeah,
so,
of course.
so Fish for Odin is gonna be with the Norwegians, which makes it better and more
Obviously,
replayable. Just so you know.
Yeah, that is a nice addition to it. My number 9, I don't know why I suddenly said numbers, is it is a mandatory on this list. It's the most mandatory game on this list, and that is Castles of Burgundy. It's a great game. It is on all of my top lists these days, so here it goes.
Top 10 4-player games, not going to be on that.
No, that's true.
Top 10 game for 5 players, not going to be on that.
Top 10 interactive games, not on
Top
that
10
either.
games not by Stefan Feld, not going to be on that.
But it's very good.
Yeah, that would be a weird list. Top 10 games not by Stefan Feld, basically, or top 10 just changing out the Stefan Feld. Yeah, Castles of Burgundy is fantastic. My next one is the Castles of Burgundy.
Okay, cool.
So small crossover dance.
Did you change up the order just to put it in here?
You will never know.
How?
If I did, it still follows the rules.
It still follows the rule.
Yes.
Okay, I was curious.
Castles of Burgundy, fantastic game. You have heard us talk about it over and over and over. And what I want to say about it is that I think I would like to then keep the new edition that's coming out.
Yeah.
Because that has all the expansion and also all the new expansion. So it has like the most variability in it, so we can play it over and over again without getting bored of that one.
And in our very small collection that we then will have, we have room for the big, very, very big box.
That is true.
Next up for me is a game that I'm very unsure of, but I really like it. So it is Bruxelles 1893, and it's just like this perfect blend of mechanisms in a Euro game, and it's not like too brain burning either. So it's like it's
a big game.
Yeah, it's very crunchy, but it's not like too much. It's just like
it's not like it's a medium heavy game. It's not like on the it's not on the heavier side.
Yep. That is a better description. So that is why it is on the list.
Yeah, I love that game. Cannot wait for the expansion to come out, which makes it even better to have on this list because there's going to be an expansion for it. And yeah, it's one of those games that we actually own 2 copies of the game.
Yes.
And we don't do that of any games because somebody was selling it for like $15. So I was like, oh, I'm going to buy that because I can give it away or we can have it or whatever we want. So far, it's just still here on the shelf. But it is a fantastic game.
Yes.
And my next one is going to be another heavy game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a one that we just recently played. One that I played many times already, almost 10 times. And it's kind of like, many of these games are going to be games I have already played many times because I know they're going to be fun many times. Like some games are fantastic and then you play it the 4th and 5th time and it's starting to ebb out. And this is Lisboa by Vital Lacerda.
Yes.
We just did a ranking of all the big box Lacerda games. If you didn't see that, go check it out in the channel. So yeah, Lisboa is my spoiler alert favorite Stefan Feld game, I almost said. Vital Lacerda game. Yeah, Vital Lacerda is the designer of that, which, it's a fantastic game. I love it to bits.
Yes, absolutely. I'm going to scooch Lisboa in here as well because I don't have like a secret message in my ranking of these games. So Lisboa is also on my list for those reasons.
My next game is the game on this list I have played the most times, and that number is more than 100. I have played this game so many times, and it is not a game I play the most often, and it's not my favorite game of all time, and it might be like, it is not in my top 50, I think.
I think I know what it is.
But it's still a game that I think fits this list perfectly, and that is Dominion.
Yes.
Especially with a quadrillion expansions.
Yes, that helps.
And like there was a new one right now, just came around, and then that's like the 16th expansion or something. I don't know, but it's so many expansions for that game, and I like the game a lot. I enjoy it every time I play it, especially 2 players. But if we were to play it many times in the same group, then it will go quick with 3 and 4 as well. So it is a game I really enjoy.
And this is the first game on the list that I'm just like, you're keeping that. Nah, I'm fine with that. But next up for me is Azul Queen's Garden, and I've kept this, or I'm pretending that I'm keeping this. Well, I keep those and all the other games though, because I think this is the most intricate one in the Azul series, but it's still like easy enough to introduce like newer players to, or if we want to have like a game night with not all the other brain burning games that I've put on this list. And I think it's the most interesting puzzle, so I think I will go the least like tired of it.
Yeah, I agree. Like I've played Azul many times, 20 times, and all of that. But I think it's the one that we kept.
Yeah.
So, or do we have two now? I don't remember.
Yeah, we do.
We have Summer Pavilion and Azul Queen's Guardian. Yeah. That is true. Fantastic game. Next up for me is going to be another heavy game that is best with 4 players. It's a longer game, also one we actually played pretty recently for one of the latest Keep or Cull episodes, and that is Brass Birmingham, which is also known #1 on Board Game Geek.
Congrats.
It is a fantastic economic Euro game, super tight, super hard to get to do what you want, card driven in a fantastic way.
Yeah.
The game is like in 2 parts, which are very important, like what to do in the first part to set yourself up for the second part in a super cool way. And like I've not played it with anybody who didn't love the game, so it is one of those games that I feel like if you are into medium plus and heavy Euros, this is one that you will probably enjoy if you haven't played it. And it is also one I have played 10 times already and would love to play more. So it is not going to be sad to have to play that 30, 40, 50, 100 times more.
Yes, I agree. I love Brass as well, and I also have it on my list. I didn't specify which one, so I just figured that I will cram both into one box and cheat, because I love them both equally.
Cheater.
But it's a really, really great game, and it's really interactive, so that also adds to the variability for me.
My next one is going to be a 2-player only abstract game. And it's not going to be That Time You Killed Me. It's going to be one that has less replayability, I would say. But it's going to be like, this is the one, it's weird because I think it is one of the GIPF series games. And it might not be the best, and it might not be the one with the most replayability, but it's the one that we played the most and we played first. So it's the one.
Yeah.
And,
I thought it was so funny that you basically said the name like 3 times now, because you said the one.
It's not the one, but it is the one. That's pretty funny. I like that. Yeah, it is really a fantastic 2-player Euro game.
Yes.
Not a Euro game, abstract game. I just love how quick it plays. It's going to be that game that we will just like, we don't want to play something. We'll sit down and just we want to play something, but we don't want to use our brains too much. And it's easily one I could see not horrible playing after 100, 200, 300 games. Yeah. So it is one that I love. It's the one.
Yeah, that is also really, really great game. Next up for me is the newest game in our collection. Not
you haven't played it yet. It's the newest game in our collection
on this list, and it's my favorite, like one of my favorite games from last year, and it's Federation.
Wow!
And I just
it's good. It's so good.
That is why I picked it, because I really needed that worker placement goodiness into the games that I want to keep, and that one has a lot of interaction and a lot of different reasons to put your I want to call it worker, your chip.
It's
on that place, and you have to which column, which side, which row, which side of it. So it's so many things into those decisions, and it was just so fun and so unique, and it really deserved like a spot with like all of the good games.
If you like medium and heavy games, I have to like add this game every time. Like, we don't get paid to say this stuff. It's a fantastic game.
Yes.
If Eagle Gryphon hasn't yet stopped their pre-order, and you are in the US and you haven't already pre-ordered this, and you like the kind of games we like, go and pre-order it. It is fantastic. It's like, it just blew me away last year. It was one of the best games I played last year. Just so much fun. Like, thinking of it, some games for me just give me that war feeling inside, and that warm and fuzzy and cozy feeling of having fun. Fun. Love it. To bits. My next one is going to be one that I haven't played in a long time. We did already play it for Keep or Cull, and it might not be the one you thought I would choose, but it is going to be Terra Mystica.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because I like
I like it.
Gaia Project better than Terra Mystica, but they're both in the same wheelhouse.
Yeah.
And Terra Mystica has so many more expansions and stuff. Is more stuff added to it. So there's way more replayability. When the first time I made this list, I basically also had my other favorite game in this genre, Clans of Caledonia, on the list. But I was like,
Very
those
similar.
two games are kind of similar and would be too similar on this list. Clans of Caledonia is getting an expansion.
Ooh.
So if that
Finally.
makes the game a lot more replayable, then I might change it with Terra Mystica. But Terra Mystica has many expansions. We haven't played any of them, so that would be the choice for me now. A super tight and hard game, like you're like, I'm gonna terraform this place, and then like, I have no resources left now. That was my first round, and there's only 2 left. There's more than 3, but it's like you feel like you're not getting anything done at the beginning of this game. But it's a fantastic game and one that I would love to like dive deeply into and playing it for 50, 100 times, something like that.
Yes, this is a game that you can really be much better at than we are, and diving into that, we don't get the time to do that with our collection. Maybe we should get
only 10 games.
No. Next up for me is one of the lighter, the lightest game of this list, and it's also like the group game of the list. It's Medici, and this keeps popping up on a lot of our lists because it's so easy to get to the table with all the different players that we play with. And it's always fun and just like a blast to play. It's a bidding game, but I really like the way the auction works in this game. I'm not a huge fan of auction games in general, but this, I feel like it's really nice, and it has like some not area majority, but kind of, and you really want to not bid all of your money because that is also points, which is really interesting.
Medici is fantastic, and it's also the next one on my list.
Oh, cool.
It plays all the way up to 6 players, and it plays well with up to 6 players in just like an hour or something. Everyone, like you said, like every single person we played it with had always loved it and had a lot of fun with it. One of my favorite Running Knizia games as well. Just a blast to play, if that's allowed to say. I don't think it is.
Next up for me is
There's only 2 left.
Only 2 left, yes. It's just so fun, and it has a lot of cards, and I just think I can play this for a long time and have fun with all those cards, and that is Terraforming Mars.
Oh yeah.
So with all the different expansions that we have, like you
maybe
have
we
a
could
little...
learn to like some of them.
Yeah. Well, you have a little like off and on relationship with this game. I have an on and on, and an on and on and on.
On and on.
Well, it can drag a little long with a lot of players, but I think this is fun with both 2 and more players as well.
Yeah.
And it's just like this race feeling that is really fun, and all of the different cards that make up your strategy, and that like mix of strategical versus tactical decisions throughout all the game.
Yeah, I really like it most of the time. It's like a bit on the luck heavy side for me, but that's the fact with all of this, drawing cards from a big pile of games. Big pile of cards.
Yes.
You're not drawing cards from a big pile of games. That would make no sense at all. So yeah, absolutely, that is a fantastic game. I have 2 left. You have 1 left. Before we go into that, there is something you can do for us, which is give us a victory point if you like us or tolerate us or just not hate us. How do you do that?
Yes, we need victory points to win in the game of life and YouTube.
Yes.
And we do that by gaining subscribers. And you can subscribe if you click that subscribe button. And you can also click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video.
Back to the content. Number 2, or the second to last one for me, is gonna be The Crew Deep Sea.
Oh yeah.
Which is a trick-taking game. It plays up to 4 players, has a lot of replayability. There's like 50 different missions, which are like, they're not super different, but they are like ramping up the difficulty. It's a co-op trick-taking game. Super duper cool. The story is, of course, horrible, and there's no reason for it to be there, but the gameplay itself, The Crew, the first one, was fantastic, and Deep Sea is just making that into that idea, which was good, into a full-fledged fantastic gaming experience that I would just like love to play it with many different groups.
Yeah.
All people can play it, like super nice way to to learn different way of thinking, and it's just super duper fun. And now I want to play it again.
Super unique, and it has such a interesting story as well. I'm all in it for like the mission. No, I couldn't care less, but I'm all the time you were talking now, I'm just trying to figure out like the order of your list, and I can't do it. The last one for me is a surprise to myself, because this is the game that I kind of switched out with A Feast for Odin, but it is Caverna.
Oh yeah.
And I think they're both great, but this is also fun with 2 players, but it's also fun with more players. It has a lot of action spots, and it has a lot of different buildings you can build. So I feel like in this game that is a lot of places to go with this game.
And it also plays up to 7 people.
Oh yeah, that is a
and
good
it actually,
bonus
I
as
have
well.
played it with 7 people, and it does work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It isn't horrible.
So it is like the game on your list, and I think on mine as well, which is like a bigger game that you can play with a bigger group.
Yes.
So I absolutely a great choice. My last one, if you were done.
Yeah.
Yeah, my last one is gonna be a small card game that is up to 6 people. It is an older game, but I just recently played it a couple of years ago. You actually played it before me. It is For Sale.
This is on your list. That's
Yes.
fun.
Because For Sale is just like super fun.
Yeah,
It's more fun
it
than it's like supposed to be. Like the first time I played it, it's like, oh, this is super good. And every time I played it, I just like love the double auction, you first get the houses and then you try to sell them. It is a super duper fun game, very quick, easy to play with many people. Highly recommend it if you're looking for like a lighter card game that you can play with almost everyone. And the good thing now is that we're done. The good thing now is that we are 2 people, and so if we were to pick all of these games, because there was almost no crossovers, there's like 3 crossovers, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Costa Burgundy, Medici, no, 4 then. Medici, Lisboa, and Brass Birmingham.
Yes, 4.
So that I was thinking there was going to be some, but I was thinking it's going to be less than half, which was easy to say after the fact. But the big question, of course, is did you understand the order I made my list in?
Right now, I'm thinking box size, but that can't be.
No.
But because you did
That would be
like
a
the
weird-
smallest games on the lot. Well, I don't see a pattern in this. Like player account?
Nope.
Maybe no.
And-
No.
Like in the beginning, it could look like if it was, and this is just fun for me, I know. But if you guessed it, let us know. In the beginning, it could look like if it was like the heaviest games to the lightest games.
But then you
Then I did Dominion before for
Yes.
Brass Birmingham.
Yes.
And the order for me was, I don't know if it's correct, it was just like my thought of it, was from most obvious to less obvious.
Oh, nice.
Like it's more obvious for me to have Castle Burgundy, Feast for Odin, Lisboa, Brass Birmingham, Dominion, than having Terra Mystica and the Crew on this kind of list and For Sale. Another fun thing, which is really fun for me, is that most of these kind of lists, I end up being the person who only have heavy big games. And this time you had a lot of more big games than me. Let us know which list you agree most with. Maybe I will win this one. I don't know. It would be fun, but after saying this, it will not happen. So yeah, I think those was some really nice lists. It was a lot of fun to do this experiment. I hope you had a lot of fun as well, even though it was a hard list to make.
I'm glad it's only in the theoretical choosing of the games.
And now we're gonna burn all our games.
Oh no! But please let us know what 10 games would you choose. Maybe
Or 5
you
or
only
1.
have what number would you land on which games are that, and maybe I will regret all the games that I've chosen when I see all the good games you have chosen instead. Yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of this one.
Yes.
We hope you enjoyed it. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye bye.